Yeah, the mobile remu straight to Accra High Court and Sembi Eboboba Eddie Free War. Aha, Gossip Politics TV. So unsubscribe here, subscribe now hit on the notification bell so any update be able drop also onsa ebe to me akabi. Attorney General Asanso akan ho bio NPP for no o sheki omo a enye asemit keto akra. NSA scandal. Abusuya breaking no ena ya project ede ato ye screen no enchen ede amamono. Prosecutors from Attorney General's office files 49 evidential documents in NSA scandal trial against former NSA boss Osei Assibey Antwi on 21 corruption-related charges. Abusuya, Papa your friend Osei Assibey Antwi. NSA scandal. Abusuya gifty oware NSA papa we omaye say enti ene yekoko PM ewo high court attorney general prosecutors from attorney general omo file 49 evidential documents. Abusuya 49 evidential documents na yakata so say abusuya enti no attorney general prosecutors witnesses no omukra sa 49 evidence abusuya papa your friend Osei Assibey. There is nowhere obesan so return it back to Nifi straight to ensawem cause oshe sika oni gifty oware edi abusuya 49 cases evidential documents and attorney general office oma file omo de kwako piemu ewo court omo de back omo facts and sembi ombeke bi asa 49 documents will be biabium a abusuya sisi a papa your friend Osei Assibey Antwi na so ayehye breaking news no ena ya project de ato your screen no enchen dia mamam yankona yankonkoti court issues ni bi credit goes to GH1 omo ena de court issues ni bi de braye unsubscribe ya subscribe hit on the notification bell so na any update be dropping also onsa a bit to me akabi aha Gossip Politics TV so madam say
so Osei Assibey Antwi. Yes. Osei Assibey Antwi yesterday was at the law court complex. So that is him. And then his lawyer, Ralph Opoku-Edusei, when he appeared yesterday. And yesterday, prosecution led by Dufie Prempe, principal state attorney, indicated to the court that they filed the first batch of disclosures, witness statements, and the processes that they have filed, about 49 are evidential processes. So they filed it just the morning before the session around 10 o'clock. Then, of course, they still would need a short time to be able to file the complement of what is left. So yesterday, they sought for a short adjournment to be able to do that. And once that has been done, lawyers of the accused person led by Ralph Opoku-Edusei indicated to the court that, look, the last time when the matter came up before the court, you note that there has been an amendment to the charges before the court, or to the charge sheet. So from 14 counts to 21, a majority of it has to do with stealing. Now, he's pleaded not guilty, granted bail, as part of the bail conditions, report to NIB headquarters in Accra, and all of that. So yesterday, the lawyers make the point that once 49 evidential documents have been filed, they will need about a month to be able to procure copies, peruse it, and know what is in it. Then that will help case management conference when it comes up. So the court, after listening to him, makes the point that the case be adjourned to May 13. However, just before the case was adjourned, the lawyer made a prayer, and the prayer was to the effect that the accused person, Osei Assibey Antwi, lives in Kumasi, and he's been coming to Accra for this case, and that was the reason the court asked that he report to NIB custody or NIB headquarters as part of the bail condition. They want a revision or they want it revised, that instead of reporting in Accra, you should rather report at the NIB office in Kumasi. Prosecution did not oppose to that request, and the court granted that. So yesterday, there was a revision of the bail condition, which the court made the point that he should rather report to the NIB in Kumasi. But on a substantive matter, on the case, they'll be back in court on the 13th for case management conference, hoping that that time, prosecution will also have filed the second batch of disclosures.
Absolutely. Right. So 13th of May is the day that he would come back.
Absolutely.
To court. Right. But let's talk about the Sky Train issue.
Okay.
$2 million.
So there's one thing about this case when it comes to, so that is Solomon Asamoah. You sit in the courtroom and then you enjoy banter, and you call it banter, clashes. So yesterday was one of such days where the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Shremsai, and lawyer for the first accused person, Solomon Asamoah, it was hot. It was hot, Ankasa. So when, you know, it's cross-examination. Cross-examination is that the accused persons are now testing the veracity of the evidence put before the court by the investigator, Francis Abuaje, who works with NIB. And the cross-examination is such that you need to ask questions to be able to destroy the case of the prosecution.
Right.
But then again, there are certain questions that if you are part of the party or you are prosecution, and they are dealing with it and asking certain questions, and you think that, oh, let it go, then you may end up having your case destroyed. And it is the case that you pay particular attention and you listen carefully to know that sometimes the question that is being put to your witness is a question that is not supposed to go on record. But if you sit down quietly, and it is what the Deputy Attorney General has been pointing at, any time he hears a question that thinks that, no, before the court, this very question should not go in, then he raises objection. And it's been very interesting. Yesterday, one person, on, you know, with the lawyers, once one person is on his feet or her feet, the other lawyer will have to sit down. And it has been sit down, I won't sit down, be quiet, I won't be quiet, and all of that. And the judge was like, you people, what are you even doing to me? And today, it will continue in relation to this very case. So cross-examination is still ongoing, and that is the videos that you are seeing from yesterday's session. So that is in relation to the Sky Train matter. Yesterday, there was a hot exchanges that characterized this. And this is the premises of the law court complex. At times, it gets so busy that you get there, you will not have any space for anything. But at times, when the place is very calm, you go there, it looks like a cemetery.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the case that borders on TikTok fraud.
So, these gentlemen, or these guys on your screen, 4 or 5 of them, there's a minor.
Call them gentlemen safe.
There's a minor.
Yeah.
When you are a gentleman, will not find himself in a situation like that. I'm not saying they are guilty.
Yes.
I'm not saying they are
that's
guilty.
what's there.
So I have to be very careful.
What's the rule? Is the premier autumn pattern rule?
Yes. That is it.
Yes.
Odi Oteram
pattern.
Yes. So that's the rule of natural justice.
Yes.
So I am not saying that they have done anything wrong. Absolutely not. But they are in trouble at this particular point in time. They are in handcuff. And the allegation is that they used TikTok, social media, use the names of high-profile persons in our country. Lordina Mahama was mentioned. Ibrahim Mahama was mentioned. Black Stars, as former Black Stars striker Samwajan was mentioned. John Dumelo was mentioned. A host of others were all mentioned in relation to they sit on social media, allegedly, then make a representation to you that there is this app. Once you download it, you have some amount of money entering into your account. And once that money entering into your account, you are going to have it in larger. If you maybe you download it and you get 200 CDs. Before Jack, you can get 1,000 CDs, 2,000 CDs, and all of that. And I wonder how people will sit on social media and still think some of these things work.
Well, they actually work.
They do.
Else they would have stopped. Yeah. Yeah.
that you download and then you
People
get
are
the
gullible
amount.
and people are greedy, and so
Well-
they would want to latch onto any form of scheme that would put money in their accounts for free without working for it. Yeah, Charlie.
Free money.
You'll be shocked.
Need here thereof.
You'll be shocked.
But there are consequences and all of
Absolutely.
that. So they were remanded, including a minor. There was one. His age was an issue that the court want to ascertain. So on the charge sheet before the court, he's said to be 18. When he was being confronted, he's mentioned an age that is more than 18. And then so there was that confusion in the mind of the court,
Right.
making sure that the court is not dealing with a minor. They remanded him into the custody of the juvenile detention center. The remaining 4 are in custody. So today, they are appearing before Justice Halima El Alawa Abdul Basit, and I will see whether they will get bail in relation to that. But their lawyer, Noble, spoke to me the very first day that they were put before the court.
So today being the first day, our argument was that they should be granted bail. But the court, in its own wisdom, remanded them for 2 weeks. And also, we make a second application that they be sent to the hospital for the doctors to ascertain as to whether they were beaten, because they have been complaining that they have been beaten. But the court rejected that argument. So we'll find our next option and make sure that before the next agenda date, we'll do the needful and come back. Defrauding by false pretense and receiving money through electronic means by fraudulent pretenses. So, but believing very well that they are innocent. These are just young guys. I believe them as they say they are innocent. So they are only entitled to one judicial remedy. That at this point, that is the grant of bail, which the court did not exercise in their favor. So I'm sure by the next agenda, we should get a favorable response. The age as stated on the charge sheet says that he is 18. But the date of birth that he mentioned in court shows that he is more than 80. So as the court is not sure of his date of birth, so they have remanded him to the juvenile detention center pending the police ascertainment of his age.
Right.
Yes, so Nelson Noble, Ameddo Wonu. That's a strong name.
Ameddo Wonu.
Ameddo Wonu.
Yeah.
Nelson Noble Ameddo Wonu. That's a lawyer for one of the accused persons. So today they will be before the court, hoping that probably, if they are lucky, they may get bail. But if they are not, then they will still have to be in custody until further notice.
Let's talk about Pandai this morning, because we thought it was all over.
Yes, so many would have thought that Pandai, it's over. But that's the beauty of the law. The law is just such that when you go to court and the decision is taken against you, there's always an opportunity for you to seek a redress or to go for another bite. So in this case, early part of the year, the Supreme Court, by a 4-1 majority decision, quashed the High Court's decision on the petition, which eventually the judgment was delivered, and the court made an order that that particular election was null and void, and rerun should be conducted within the specific days. Then Matthew Nyindam went to the Supreme Court, succeeded by way of the 4-1 majority decision. The applicant, the NDC side, did not accept it as it is. So they filed for a review, and this morning, the Apex Court, an enhanced panel, so 5, now 2 more judges will be added to it to 7. And the reason somebody will be so confident in seeking a review, even though only 2 judges will be added to the 5, if you are taking the decision, it's 4-1, right? Assuming the remaining 2 who are added even agrees with the person seeking for the review, it will be 4-3, right? But the Supreme Court can take a decision today. Tomorrow they'll sit down and say that, no, we have changed our mind. And that's how come one person will be very confident to say that by a 4-1 decision, the person is still confident that he can get the decision overturned. So today, we'll be at the Supreme Court to follow what will happen, and we'll update you on the newsroom and our subsequent bulletin, of course, tomorrow when we'll come to give you more updates.
Right. Mutala, thank you. Thank you so much.
So this video that you are seeing on your screen, so you see the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Remsai in there. And this video was taken on the 25th of November 2025. And why am I making reference to the date? So for those who remember, the Shafiq Osman, a private legal practitioner, filed a suit at the Supreme Court. And in that suit, he is challenging, so that's Oliver Barker from in the Democracy Hub, and then that's Shafiq Osman's lawyer, Aziz Gumda, in there. So he's alleging, making an allegation about the fact that Wesley Girls Senior High School is stopping the Muslim brothers from practicing their faith. And for that, it's inconsistent with provisions in the 1992 Constitution. So the Supreme Court should have to investigate into that. That day when it appeared before the Supreme Court, the state had its statement or affidavit in defense or statement of defense adopted by the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court made the point that the Board of Government of the Wesley Girls School should file a response, or if they have anything at all to file, they should file within 14 days from now. Fast forward, there have been 2 separate applications before the Supreme Court, and last time on the 31st of March. So, Director, let's look at the other video and let me tell you something brief about that particular. So, on the 31st of March, we captured this video as well. And this video, you could see the president of the Ghana Bar Association, Ifwagate, in there, and then the host of lawyers. Samuel Atachan is not involved in this case, just that he was at the premises of this. And that day, there were 2 applications before the Supreme Court, but they were both adjourned to April 1 and April 21, I beg your pardon. And the reason it was adjourned was the nature of the case, that the Board of Governors of the Wesley Girls School are saying that, look, the board is not, they were, in fact, the action, the board is the first defendant, Ghana Education Service, GES is the second defendant, and the Attorney General is the third defendant. They are saying that by law, and in looking at the context of things, they are not a proper party to be sued. And so the action should be dismissed. They don't have capacity to be sued. Now, the Attorney General has filed a response to that point that the Board of Governors have raised. So let's look at the graphics and let me walk you through a small exercise here by way of what is happening. So, update from that particular case, and you see the Deputy Attorney General here and the crest of Wesley Girls Senior High School. And obviously, Shafiq Osman is the plaintiff here. The Board of Governors of Wesley Girls Senior High School are the first defendant. Ghana Education Service, GES, the second defendant, and the Attorney General is the third defendant here in this particular action. But what has happened in relation to, Director, let's move, in relation to the response from the Office of the Attorney General. And the Attorney General is saying that through the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Stremsa, is saying that keep Wesley Girls Board as defendant in religious rights. They can be sued. And in an affidavit in response, which was deposed to by an administrative secretary at the Office of the Attorney General, the AG is making the point that, yes, this particular administrator, Mary Yeboah, said that he has a consent of the Attorney General to put forth all this, that relation to the matter before the court. Let's go to the next one. And before the court, for the court to investigate, they said that, look, at the hearing of this motion, the Attorney General will seek permission of the court to refer to all the processes that it has filed. And it went back to take us back to memory lane that sometime in December 23rd November, December 2024, the plaintiff filed a writ invoking the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, seeking several reliefs therein. And on March 16, 2026, the first defendant here is the Board of Governors of the Achimot Wesley Girls
High School,
Senior High School. They
Wesley Girls have always been a high school before the whole secondary and senior high. But they've always been a high school, Wesley Girls High.
Wesley Girls, yeah. So on March 16, 2026, the first defendant, that is the Board of Governors, caused a motion to be filed in which it, on fact, in an affidavit deposed to by the assistant headmaster of Wesley Girls High School, praised the Lordship, that the Supreme Court, to strike out the writ on grounds that the first defendant, which is the Wesley Girls Board of Governors, lack capacity to sue and be sued. That's the main contention of this matter here. that the Wesley Girls School is managed as a public senior high school. That's one thing that the Attorney General is pointing out there. And looking at the context of things, that it is true that it is by law mandatory for a high schools which is managed as public schools, including Wesley Girls High School, to constitute a board of governors to ensure that such a school is managed in accordance with laid down rules and regulations of the second defendant. The second defendant here is Ghana Education Service. Wesley Girls is under the Ghana Education Service. And that, contrary to the claims in the deposition in paragraph 30 and 3 of the affidavit in support of the motion, that is motion by the first defendant, exists in facts.
Okay, abusua we ne ensema ekoso ewo political highway ne so Osei Assibey Antwi NSA and asisia no papa no chisia de ne nyomo obeto ne se obi mbu amien ohia amanfo ama omo aboa no cause 49 document evidence attorney general ama file ne de eja egunichim yebedamase samoje pene kokuti sa ensem we edemai aha gossip politics tv so bedamase